welcome to this episode of the Self-Improvement Project. Now, I hope everybody is well. I hope you've all had a wonderful week of self-improvement, personal development, and this week's episode is covering the topic of self-love. I've called this episode the attraction of self-love, and I want you to think about your perception of it so far. Do you give yourself enough self-love? Do you find that phrase and term a little bit hippie or a little bit soppy, perhaps? Or have you never even considered what it is and how it can impact on you? Now, we spend most of our early life figuring out the world and figuring out ourselves. How to be normal, how to fit in, what do I enjoy doing, what should I choose to do with and for the rest of my life, etc., etc. And during that entire time where we're asking ourselves these big questions and figuring all these big things out, all we are really looking for is acceptance. Acceptance from society, our education, our employers, our friends and families, and ourselves. Now, looking back at most of that list I just named, acceptance is measured mainly through grades or numbers. I'm an A+ student, or I have hundreds of friends, or millions of pounds. But there is not enough said about the importance of self-love and acceptance. Now, not to be overly fluffy, but there is not one thing that can outweigh the benefits of displaying self-acceptance throughout your life. Complete comfort with who you are, accepting your flaws and your star qualities. There can be some self-help entertainment reading that can make you think momentarily about all of this, or at least challenge your perception. But it's a line in the sand for your life, not a moment you read about it and put it down. A line in the sand for when you choose to live through acceptance of others and when you choose to live through acceptance of yourself. That moment you choose to accept yourself, where you've been and where you're going, memento mori, as it can be described in Stoic philosophy. The phrase memento mori is a reminder that you're going to die one day, and it gives you that quick jolt to action for your life. Oh, I'm going to go and do all of this. Your motivation skyrockets. Yet, living in fear of your mortality is not a very good long-term plan. It'll last a few days, a few weeks, maybe even a month. But we're talking about the rest of your life here. How are you going to live with this unconditional self-love, unconditional self-acceptance that makes you attractive to everyone else in the world. People looking at you thinking, I wish I was them. The phrase memento mori is also a reminder to be true to yourself. To not care what you don't know, nor what you are incapable of, but to only care for the personality that you behold and the wonderful impact you have had on the world. The wonderful impact you are currently having and you can have on all these lives that you are touching. During this time of embracing self-love, self-acceptance, mortality, if we sprinkle moments of self-awareness and reflection at these times of solitude, you are on course for a truly fulfilling life, especially from a social point of view. I talk about being attractive to others pining for this life that you lead. And I personally feel from experience and reflection that I am the most enjoyable version of myself when I accept myself for who I am. My colours are my colours. I don't put them on show, nor do I hide them out of shame. I ask about others' colours to learn because they're different to mine. I don't get offended when someone dislikes my colours, nor do I get overjoyed when people compliment me for them. At the end of the day, all I know is that I want to keep my colours bright and glowing. By doing this, it not only inspires others, but it allows them to burn their own ones very brightly too. And then, from that, we all win. So, that's us this week. Embracing self-love, self-acceptance for the long term so you are completely comfortable in your own skin for the rest of your life. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for listening. I am always loving any of the comments or things that you find useful from this podcast, or if you just like listening to it for a therapeutic reason. I will see you next week. I hope you have a good one. Cheers.